Hey everybody, I hope you're doing well. It's Josh here again from Sales Mentor. Today I finished the Casual Connect conference in London, so that's another 3 solid days of meetings done, finished, and finally next week I get an opportunity to get back to the office and do some work. You know, there's always a lot of general housekeeping that is sort of relatively unkept when you're on the road, and I've been on the road for 3 weeks, so I've done 3 events back to back. So I was in San Francisco first for a week, then I dropped down to Malmo in Sweden for a week, and my last stop was in London. Now back to the office, and it's really time to sort of really get to work on the leads that I've generated over this 3-week period. Now obviously I've been strict and I've been doing a follow-up every single day, so as soon as I meet a prospect, it's my process to come straight back to the hotel after the day's proceedings and do an hour of follow-up. So follow up personally with every single person, and then put together a process with them of how we're going to follow up. So then now next week, that is going to probably take up 80-90% of my workload, and to kind of give you an idea of volumes of leads generated, and this should be a benchmark for you. You know, I've been to 3 days of events, or a 3-day event this week. I'll give you kind of an idea on the amount of business cards that I've picked up. None of these are mine. I'm trying to be a bit sensitive around the people's names, but I mean, you can see there's genuinely loads and loads. So if you're not going to an event and you're not picking up this amount of contacts, connections, if you're not making conversation with this amount of people in a 3-day period, then you need to seriously try harder to do so, because you are in such a dynamic position to get FaceTime, to really make a solid impression, to generate leads at events. They truly are one of the most valuable sales tools, sales aids in themselves. And what I wanted to talk about today was a really important topic in sales, and that's building value. Now it's a massive topic, and it's certainly a topic that is best broken down, because building value isn't kind of a one and done scenario. It isn't a short video clip where I can really go into depth on building value, because there's building value sort of pre-meeting. So in your initial outreach, in your lead sourcing, lead generation period, there's a building value part that needs to be added to that to really maximize the potential. After you've set up a meeting, there's a building value part there. And then as a follow-up piece, there's building value as well. Building value is something that you continuously do. And I always say a lot about sharing valuable content, giving people information for free that positions you as an expert in your industry, and ultimately helps a prospect solve a challenge, because that is your job as a salesperson, is to sell a product to a person that helps them overcome a challenge. That is why 99% of businesses is done. And people always ask me, Josh, you talk a lot about sharing content, but where do I find this content? Now, the internet's a humongous place, so there's 1,000,001 different sources, but to give you real insight, because that's the main thing with this channel. I don't want this to be a life story on me as a salesperson. I don't want it to be kind of the motivational speaking crap that you see everywhere, because I'm not on that sort of circuit. The real difference with this channel is I'm a live active sales director. I'm a sales director. I'm going to be generating at least 10 million plus this year in revenue. I'm in the game, so I'm live, I'm active. I'm not talking about things I did 10 years ago, and I want to make sure that this is a real opportunity for you to get tangible insights into things that are working right now, because that's most important. You can spend half an hour watching a YouTube video of a sales guy, of a serial entrepreneur, of a motivational speaker, and generally you leave feeling pissed off with a bitter taste in your mouth, because you've wasted half an hour and you haven't actually got anything from them apart from the sound of their own whistle being blown. So this isn't that sort of party. What I want to do is share exactly how you can improve your sales performance, how you can hit your targets, what you can do to really maximize your potential. So with the building value piece, I'm going to go into this a lot over the next few weeks, and I'm really going to break it down. But to give you a really, really important step, and I don't expect a lot of people actually know about this. So one of the best things, or one of the best ways to get content, relevant content to your industry or your prospects industry that you can share with them, is get a content aggregator. And it's a lovely posh word. It makes me sound awful intelligent saying get yourself a content aggregator. Get yourself one. Now, to give you the one that I use personally, go to feedly.com. So Feedly. Feedly is, I believe it's still free. It's a free content aggregator. And what that literally does is arrange content specific to the search terms that you put in there. So you would type in topics of interest, and then what that will do is share with you really relevant specific content based on what's fresh on the news, and they basically gather the information across their various credible sources. So you can log on to that weekly and you can pick the best content sources that you think are most relevant. So to give an example, if I was to go on to Feedly and type in marketing for small businesses, then it would give me a bunch of different articles and content sources that then is in relation to marketing for small businesses, or whatever my search criteria was. The other really great thing that I still use personally is Google Alerts, and it works in a very similar fashion. Based on key search terms, type in a challenge, for example, that your prospect is looking to face, type in the industry that your prospect works in, and again, it will actually give you alerts based on when something in relation to your search term comes up. And I'm not promising that every single piece of information is going to be uber accurate, but this is something that's going to search the web and find the most accurate content in relation to the terms that you're searching. So it is realistically foolproof, and this saves you hours and hours and hours and hours of searching around the internet for information that you think is going to be super valuable, when this does it automatically for you. So both are free to use. Neither is pay to play. So go and set yourself an account up, and then this will actually give you access to the content that you can share. Now, there's a million other places where you can get it, but use these two for right now. If you're not using anything, try these two. They're going to organize it for you. Google sends you alerts. It's a nice, simple, easy to use platform where you can get the right information. But like I said, following on from this, what I'm going to do is put together different modules on the building value piece, because this is super, super important. And if you don't build enough value, you will never sell a product. Building value is imperative. That is what people want. People want value, and you personally need to be a value asset, not just your product or your service. To really gain credibility and trust with a prospect, you need to be a valuable asset to them. You need to be somebody that is able to help them. And there's a million different ways that we can do this. So rather than me putting one either super long video together, I think it makes sense to really break this down into bite-sized chunks. So over the next week, if you're really interested in learning how exactly you can build value pre-sale, during the sale, following the sale to close the deal, or as a follow-up routine, then I'm going to split every single part of that off and really dig deep into it. But that's it for tonight. That's a short one. I wanted to just actually give another real simple insight that you can do. So tonight, go and set up a Feedly account. Go and set up Google Alerts. And then tomorrow, take a look. There'll be fresh content in your aggregator ready to share with your prospects. Have a good evening, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Take care.